Happy Halloween. You know what's spookier than Halloween with all the ghouls and ghosts and goblins? All of the myths that have been perpetuated for at least the past couple decades now about how children's Halloween candy is being tampered with in all kinds of different ways. The fear mongering that's occurred throughout the decades. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Hey everyone, my name's Christian Verstappen, and I have a lot to say about many things. We're going to be talking about the fentanyl epidemic of 2022. The Five talks about how fentanyl is being disguised as candy. Now, this is from the wonderful Fox News, so you already know it's going to be amazing. I was just watching through this originally, and I was deciding if I was going to talk about it or not. And I got to about the 2 minute mark and realized, yep, I need to talk about it. So, without further ado, we want 20. I don't know how. Come on, that's not what's going to play, by the way. That's the playlist I was watching. Great channel, by the way. Check out Super Gaming Bros. They're a great Let's Play channel. Anyway, enough with the distractions.
The fentanyl crisis continuing to devastate families across America. And now it could be showing up in your kid's Halloween candy bag. Health officials are raising concerns about brightly colored fentanyl pills that are being found in packaging that looks like candy. Two men arrested after selling rainbow-colored fentanyl pills inside candy boxes like Nerds and Skittles. And DEA officials believe it's the cartel's way to target children as young as middle school. Even top Democrat leaders like Chuck Schumer are sounding the alarm.
This is a picture of real fentanyl. These are sweet tarts. And if you opened up this little container of sweet tarts, it would look about the same. That's what the drug dealers are.
First thing, no, it wouldn't. This is what sweet tarts look like. This is what the fentanyl looks like. Pretty distinctly differently colored. Now, if you think that a kid can't tell the difference between candy that they really like, you would be mistaken. But let's say that it can be mistaken for that kind of candy and that people are actually going to have a risk of eating these instead of these. Let me make sure this isn't being blocked by my, oh, it kind of is. Hang on a minute. Oh, I have the view image right here. No. All right, let's play devil's advocate here and say that people might get confused, mistaking these for these. Let's just for the sake of argument.
Are doing. They say, oh, this will give you a great high, and it looks innocent. So the kids are far more likely to take it. And Halloween is coming up, and, you know, this is the kind of
Wait, sorry, what was that?
time where great high, and it looks innocent. What the drug dealers are doing. They say, oh, this will give you a great high, and it looks innocent. So the kids are far more likely to take it.
Is he implying that the drug dealers are like trying to give it to kids and get them to think it's sweet? Why? What would be the... They can't pay for it. They have no money. What?
And Halloween is coming up, and, you know, this is the kind of time where kids are involved with candy and all kinds of other things, so it's really bad, really worrisome, really dangerous.
You know, Brian, we've got a fentanyl-related death in this country every 9 minutes. And you've got Chuck Schumer over there.
I'm sorry. Is that statistic even true? I'm sorry, I'm nitpicking. She's probably being hyperbolic.
Sounding.
Or she just pulled that statistic out of her ass. But, they do say 75% of statistics are made up.
The alarm.
It's a joke.
Isn't he sounding the alarm? I mean, I'm happy he's talking about it. Shouldn't he be sounding the alarm with the White House? Shouldn't the White House be talking about the fact that this is happening, or would it be too dangerous?
Absolutely. He wants to rip from the headline. People can relate to that and say, hey, look, it looks like Sweet Tarts, looks like Skittles, it looks like Nerds. If you really cared, you would actually be saying China to cartel, cross the border into your bedroom, into your living room, into your dorm room. That's what he would say if he really cared. This is not hard. What also I think is noteworthy is they're not looking to get an addict. They're not looking to get a long-term customer. They're looking to kill. So
why? What benefit? All right. If it was serial killers, I would understand that sick modus operandi. But why the fuck would drug dealers want to kill their own customers? What purpose would that serve?
So if there's someone's looking to kill you, why do you need a second source? Stop it. We know exactly how it's done. Great progress was made last term with the different president. Now, it didn't eradicate the problem, but it certainly helped the problem.
And, Jesse, the truth is, it is an undeclared war by China against American children. And if they cared, the president would stop the inflow or the influx of the fentanyl dealing that's coming through the southern border.
So you gotta love. Oh, hey, look, we got the thumbnail image. You gotta love how they're deliberately doing this. Racism against. Clearly they're this anti-Mexican sentiment, this anti-Chinese sentiment, and this kind of dick riding for the former president. Of course, they're going to be doing that stuff because that's what Fox has fallen into in the past, 5, 6, 10 years. But this moral panic about candy being distributed to children is laced with something, or razors in apple, razor blades in apples, things like that. This has always been completely unfounded. There is history to this, and that history involves where people that actually were affected by these kind of things, that had eaten Halloween candy that harmed them, was tampered with by their own parents. Now, of course, Fox News isn't going to talk about that and the reality of this urban legend or anything of that nature, this modern moral panic. But if you're more than welcome to look up anything about. I mean, if you just start even searching here, you start having. Okay, we'll check this one out. I'm sure that'll be great. How Americans became convinced their Halloween candy was poison candy myths. A brief history of poison Halloween candy pandemic. You're welcome to do your research on this. I guess I'll go over this in a minute. But it's always been a myth. It's always been a fear-mongering scare tactic to terrify people, and that's what it does. And you gotta love, again, how they're throwing in this soft racism along with it as well.
But the president's compromised by the country that's declared this drug war on us.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Drug war, massive failure. It doesn't help anyone because, and I'll touch on this real quick, but the whole thing with drugs is that people who are using drugs, the whole thing, it shouldn't be criminalized in the first place. It should be treated as what it is, which is a medical issue where people need help in order to get over that addiction. But they shouldn't be thrown in jail with high recidivism rates and all kind of stuff of that nature.
He could launch a cyber attack on the Chinese. That's what I would do. Mm-hmm. If they're going to declare a drug war in America, I'd launch a cyber attack because that's how serious it is. You can make so much money off of fentanyl on the street. You get a kilo of fentanyl, $4,000 wholesale. on the street, you could make $1.2 million. Cocaine and heroin, meth, you can't even make close to that on the street. And you can't train these drug-sniffing dogs at the DEA to sniff it out because it'll kill the dogs. How are you supposed to train them to do that?
Yeah.
So it's such a small amount to smuggle. They bring it in Hunts Point over here. They bring it in produce, and then they take it, they bring it to these Dominican migrants in apartments that are all lab coated up, masks and gloves, and then they pill it up in plastic, and then they distribute it. It's very hard to detect.
You know, Dana, I mean, young children now going out to trick or treat. I mean, basically, parents have a decision to make. You don't let your kids get that candy. It doesn't mean the person giving it out is intending to harm.
You throw away all the...
How else would... So are they trying to say that if you buy, like, one of those bags of mixed candy at the store and you pass it out, oh, here's Nerds for you, here's Sweet Tarts, here's, I don't know, Twix, you know, whatever, right? That there could be this shit in those and they don't know? So you're saying supermarkets are just, like, getting this stuff without knowing? No. The only way these kind of things happen, the way that the myth, at least as I've always understood it, has been, is that sick people will take candy and things like that, they'll tamper with it, they don't actually do this, but they'll tamper with it, and they'll give it to the kids. And, you know, you'll see, like, oh, the box was, like, open and reclosed, you know, something like that. That isn't what's happening here. That's not what they're suggesting, at least, or at least it's not what it sounds like.
Nerds and the Sweet Tarts.
Yeah.
That's the end of it, Jesse.
Or,
Go ahead, Dana.
or you decide it's not. There's not going to be massive Halloween parading. There's going to be small groups with families that we know. We're going to do this in our backyard, and that's how, or in our basement,
Sounds
and that's
like
how we're going to do it. I don't understand. So 300 people
A day.
300 Americans a day are dying. Do you remember what did we do when COVID was killing 300 people a day? We shut down the entire economy. So it's amazing to me that we don't have an emergency cabinet.
We didn't, by the way. There were essential workers still doing their job. I very much believed, although I understand that it's not really possible, but I do very much believe that when an event like COVID happens, the world kind of has to, like, it should stop to focus on the most pressing issue. But, you know, that's not the way things went. And, yeah.
Meeting called by the President of the United States. It says, all right, I'm calling a meeting on Thursday at 8 a.m. and I want every one of you to come in here with 2 ideas for how we're going to deal with this fentanyl crisis and put it out there and let people know about it. Also, where's the emergency effort to get the word out to the national media? The DEA, I think that they're doing as best that they can. They have a one pill can kill initiative. They're doing their best, but you should, I would, if I were President of the United States, I would take the full force of my cabinet and say, this is what we are doing. We're doing it on Thursday. You better be there and don't be late.
Guys, can you imagine the full force of the presidential cabinet for a myth?
You know, Sharon, China does not have a drug problem. I understand.
No, because they're too busy sending it to the Western
world. No, because
world.
their punishment is death. It's death.
It's death.
Literally.
And
so what's going on in the UK?
Are we getting into Sharia law here?
It's at the UK too. You have people selling it to school kids that wait outside schools. It's everywhere there too. But the thing is, these people who are caught selling it should be put in jail for life. They should be sent away for life, because when you're a dealer, you are killing people. So you're a murderer.
I will say, I feel differently about dealers than I do users. However, oftentimes, users become dealers, dealers become users, so on and so forth, right? Not always. But I do agree that people who are knowingly dispensing the harmful substance should face some sort of legal action. I don't necessarily think they should be, you know, throw them in jail and throw away the key, you know, anything like that. That's a bit extreme. But I agree that it's an issue.
Murderer. You should be sent away for life, and, you know, you can get it on the dark web. I know, I've fought drugs my entire life with my family. I know what it does to people. But this has there's never been anything like this. This is instant
Because
death.
they don't want to get you hooked. They want to kill you. And, Judge, I'll say this. You could have had a Republican standing right next to Chuck Schumer. I mean, we have a unifier as president. I don't know if you saw the inaugural. That would be an opportunity to get people on the same side to fight the same fight.
But then look at people in the Senate. Don't tell me that they don't have family members that are addicts.
Excuse me, the president?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Hunter Biden.
So you would think the first thing, I know what it does to the family. It destroys the family.
Hunter Biden, yes, I will say on that real quick, Hunter Biden has come out about issues he's dealt with drugs. But again, this is a medical issue. These are issues that, and I shouldn't say just he's come out about it. It's pretty well known at this point. But these aren't issues to like vilify somebody. These are issues people have to deal with internally and figure out how they want to go about them, for lack of a better word. You know, get the help that they need, etc.
Family, and usually the person doing it dies. So why aren't they doing something about it? It's definitely the Chinese wanting to destroy the Western world, and the government cannot. All the governments cannot allow it.
It's their opium war on us.
See, again, we have to have this whole huge conspiratorial racism. Look, China's not perfect, don't get me wrong. But it's not like this, I don't know. It's not this, it's not like all of our problems in our country are from China or from any other country, like these guys are strongly hinting at. And you'll see some of the people in the comments too, and we go over that. I gleamed over some of those as well.
Oh, true. And instead, the government is trying to gin up hate about the Braves. You got to change your name. Otherwise, they're looking to divide us when that's another issue. Anyway, up next, American taxpayers better brace yourselves. We just learned the true cost of Biden's student debt giveaway, and it's truly outrageous.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. God. I'm not even going to touch that one right now, at least. Look, I will say real quick on the whole student debt thing. It's a good thing. Anyone that's upset about it because they think like, oh, well, I've had to pay off my student debt. Congratulations. People used to die of polio, and now there's a polio vaccine. You know, that's progress. That's how it works. Okay, let's read some of these wonderful comments. This looks to be the top rated, right? If we were sorting by top comments. Funny how Schumer is up here talking about it, yet he won't tell Joe to close the border already. So here we're having that anti-Mexican sentiment. There should be no mercy. Life sentences for anyone caught with this kind of stuff. Anything disguised for kids, made for kids, or that creates an exemplary chance a child could consume. Really, I wonder how they feel about these. Candy cigarettes. Can I not zoom out? Okay, that's fine. Candy cigarettes, for the unaware, are literally designed to get kids used to the act of smoking. Obviously, they're not actually inhaling tobacco or anything like that, but they're sugar sticks that were, and there are still places you can get them, I believe, where they're designed for kids to get used to the act of smoke. Oh no, that's like a blunt. Sorry, smoke. The act of smoking, and these are the kind of things that are actually designed to psychologically get kids into that kind of stuff. Not drug dealers putting rainbow fentanyl, or as I'm about to discuss in a minute, THC edibles, giving those to kids as Halloween candy. That's not a thing. God, this pearl-clutching moral panic over Halloween candy has been around since ever, and it's insane. Have the fentanyl dealers eat their own product? Oftentimes they do, just not in large quantity. Election in a month, so now he's concerned. Who? Who is this? Dana is spot on. Just because the deaths are coming from something other than COVID doesn't make it less. No one's saying it is. Look, is there a drug issue in America? Yes, absolutely. But I'll tell you what, it's the people like this that further, and the people like this that further the drug war that are the cause for the issues that are happening. Because one thing you have is when you have people, when you have the act of possession or consumption of a drug as an illegal thing, and people can get arrested for just having weed on them or something, or anything else, what these things do, you have this stigma on people who use drugs, and you make it a lot less likely for them to actually seek out help and get the support that they need to beat their addiction, because it's an addiction. And I will have, I'm sure, I promise I will have another video specifically going on how people overuse the word addiction on things. But drugs are something that people do get chemically addicted to, and it's a problem. And it's something that absolutely needs addressing. But the way these people want to address it is not how you actually address these things. This is the narrative. These are the ideas that perpetuate the problem that they claim to be so concerned about. And I don't doubt, by the way, that they are legitimately concerned. I do doubt, however, I know I should say that they are not correct. Officials warn rainbow fentanyl coming in. Didn't I see something debunking this earlier too? Drug package look like candy. Definitely addicted to fentanyl. Okay, Young Turks did a good video on this. Could have sworn there was something about DEA, no connection between rainbow fentanyl and Halloween. Okay, let's see what this is.
Thank you, Laura. Well, another warning to parents ahead of Halloween. Senate Republicans are addressing the dangers of so-called rainbow fentanyl and its similarity in appearance to candy. But now some critics say the warning is more trick than treat, just a month ahead of the midterm elections.
Yeah.
Nicknamed Rainbow Fentanyl, the Drug Enforcement Agency announced it had seized 15,000 of the colorful pills in a New York bust late last month, some of it hidden in a Lego box. DEA officials, though.
By the way, just to be clear, the reason people are hiding these things is not to distribute them to kids. It's to make them look innocent so they can get away with them and not be like investigated for having them. You know, oh, no one's going to check my thing of nerds. And if they open it, oh, hey, it looks like the candy. You know, no one's going to check my sweet tarts. Oh, they did and it looks like candy. I'll be free to go. They're not doing this so they can give it to kids. Like, no.
Tell Fox News they have not seen any connection between the rainbow fentanyl and Halloween.
If we see it, I promise you have my commitment. Any credible evidence, we will come out and we will tell you.
The DEA did say it has seized rainbow fentanyl in 21 states as of late last month.
Okay. Yeah. Part of me wants to like this video, but I don't want the YouTube algorithm to start suggesting me Fox News stuff. All right. UVA doctors not concerned, good, over poison Halloween candy. Do have concerns about THC edibles. Oh boy. All right, let's watch this.
Halloween candy being poisoned on purpose is a long-standing rumor that's been debunked.
All right, real quick, why is this so fuzzy? What is the deal? Why is this so blurry? What resolution are we at? This is awful. Whatever.
UVA doctors say there is something parents should be concerned about, and it could be in their home. NBC 29's Dryden Quigley shows us what that is.
Checking your kids' Halloween candy is still a good idea, but it might not be as crucial as you think. Cases of contaminated candy are extremely rare.
It's almost unheard of for candies to be poisoned.
Dr. Christopher Holstedge is the director of the UVA Health Blue Ridge Poison Center. He can't remember a case he's treated for poison candy.
You hear these rumors, but they're usually not, a reality that occurs in our communities. We always have parents watch the candies and check them before the kids eat them when they go Halloween trick-or-treating. We certainly want kids to trick-or-treat.
What he's worried about is the THC edibles parents already have in their homes being mistaken for candy.
So the concern is there's already a mix-up that's occurring that we're seeing in our practice, where these are either being, left out, and the kids misidentify them and take it off the counter and eat them.
In the past 3 months, the poison centers had 51 cases, doubled from last year.
So of all the years that I've practiced, this is probably the biggest risk year for that, especially accidental. And we're already seeing it. So that's where I see the problem right now. So I don't think it's fear mongering. It's just I want to make sure that the public is aware that this is occurring and to just be careful.
If you have concerns about a child eating THC,
Okay. I'm going to be fair on this one. I mean, I try to be as fair as I could. I try to be as fair as I can on all these things, right? But, and this is just going over the same thing that the video just did. That's good. Yeah, I can understand that as a concern, and I like that they mentioned accidentally, because that's the key thing here, right? You'll have people will fearmonger about how, people are doing this intentionally to get your kids hooked or whatever. But it might actually be true that people who have edibles, especially the ones that are actually, made to look like candy, and then they might grab that and accidentally put it in the bag or in the bowl or whatever they're going to use to pass out to candy for kids. I can see that being a real concern, absolutely. But at the same time, that's like anything else. If you have, I don't know, they make ice cream with liquor in it now. If you have that and you say you're serving that, because the thing is, this can even happen in your own house. You can have this ice cream or these edibles or whatever, and you're having them yourself, and then your kid comes along and you give them the wrong bowl of ice cream or the wrong thing. These accidents do absolutely happen. So I can understand the message of basically telling people, hey, be careful about this, make sure you know what you're giving kids. That's fair. I like that they didn't push this idea that like, oh, this is some nefarious evil thing you have to watch out for, because it isn't. It is a simple mistake people could make, but it's just something that people have to be careful about to make sure that they don't do. So, all in all, while there are going to be people that fearmonger about this stuff, that's just kind of the way it goes. This notion that Halloween candy is poisoned and all these different things to hurt kids has been one that has existed for a long time now. It's completely myth, but it's one that circulates all the time. It's something that, of course, conservatives are going to latch on to, and if people like people on Fox News can use it to spin a story and try to drum up fear and concern for people, of course they're going to. So it is what it is. Just be careful about, especially if you are someone that has edibles or anything like that and you're passing them out to kids. You're not passing the edibles out. Make sure you're not passing the edibles out. You're passing out candy in general, and you're not mixing up edibles or anything like that. And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of. I would say something that can be done to prevent things like that is to just don't make these things look like they could possibly be for kids. Put them in like a little black bag or something, or something where it doesn't look like it could be, I don't know, Airheads or something, right? But look, while there are concerns, there are also going to be people who run with this stuff, and their goal is to drum up fear and all this bullshit. So just be aware of that, and just be careful, but don't be paranoid. I think that's a good way to put it. Anyway, as always, these are just my thoughts. Please let me know what yours are in the comments down below. Follow me on social media for more. Links in the description. Subscribe and ring the bell to stay up to date. Leave a like if you like. And if not, I hope you find something to do like. Take care of each other out there, guys. Stay safe if you go to any parties or anything like that. And, yeah. Peace and love.